Hi guys, Alex here with Inside. Today I'm filming from a new location, but I wanted to get this across to you because I think it's a wonderful opportunity to invest. And we're going to talk about commercial real estate today versus my typical overviews of residential projects. This is Lumena by Omniyat. If you've been following me along, you know I'm a fan of luxury high-end buildings, and in general because they present the best opportunity for resale because it's generally limited stock. They tend to have the best locations and they have a clientele that keeps growing in Dubai. At this point, it's roughly 7% of Dubai's residents are multimillionaires, and this number keeps growing. Why? Well, from an individual standpoint, you have people who are moving from all around the world to the UAE for tax reasons, for safety reasons, quality of healthcare, education, and this extends to businesses. And when we look at businesses, generally you're going to have 30 to 60% tax rates around the world. And here in Dubai, it's between 5 and 9% or so, depending on the type of business that you're doing. You can have different types of licenses. We can help you set up your company here and get you the right one. But in general, you will have companies that are sitting in DIFC in the financial center, and you'll have other companies like in Palm Jebel Ali, and then you have mainland companies. Today's project falls into the mainland category, which means it provides a wide array of business activity options. And stay tuned until the end to see whether this can be good for you for a place to rent out or buy for your business, or simply as an investor. Spoiler, this is better than investing into residential units. The price point is higher, but the returns are accordingly so. So if we take a look at Omniyat, we know that they're a luxury developer that, compared to most other ones in the UAE, we know that they've built Enara, which was another office building, in the last 6 months. That one is sold out. And if we look at the landscape overall of offices in the UAE, especially in Dubai, we know that we have the Burj Khalifa area in downtown, and we have DIFC. So the challenges that are apparent in DIFC, if you've spent some time in Dubai, you know that traffic is not so great. And you can stand there for hours trying to get out of a very small space. Same with Burj Khalifa, for instance. If you have an office in Burj Khalifa, yes, while it's world known where the location is, but you're mixing residences, a hotel, tourists, and a lot of other things. So your guests would have to go through quite a lot of hassle to even get to your offices. This is what I like about Lumena, is that it fixes a lot of those issues. Location-wise, I think it's great because it's right next to the Business Bay metro station. It's very accessible. And the idea here is it can be used by employees, not just top management, right? So for instance, Enara was farther out from the metro in Business Bay, and that when you have something that's removed from the metro line, you automatically are targeting a different segment of clientele. Here, it's ease of access for employees as well as top management, and companies who have these types of addresses know, for instance, that if they tell people we're in Lumena or we're in Burj Khalifa versus we're in Al Barsha or Media City, we know that that represents a particular level of status, which in Dubai is important, of course. And of course, it also creates a particular surrounding for yourself. Now, if we take a deeper look at the actual project, I'll discuss the prices a bit later, but you already start to see from the design, it's typical Omniyat. I think it's a very beautiful design, flowing curved lines, and the location right next to Sheikh Zayed Road provides for ease of access, which is quite fantastic. I don't know if you're going to be above the clouds, but I think it would be quite cool. They have a very unique amenity here on the top, an amphitheater that I'll show you later, that is I think quite unique. So first of all, if you look at office buildings generally, you see just glass boxes. And that's typically what's associated with corporate culture in many countries, New York, London, etc. Here, they're taking a different approach, and there's a big focus on wellness, which you know that I'm a fan of. They have about 25% of the space dedicated to amenities. I'll cover those, but already it's a different approach. This is in the luxury segment of the market, Prices are between 4,300 to 6,500 per square foot or so. And I'll get into the specifics and what that can look like as a return profile. But while there are other options, you have Boulevard Plaza, you'll have Enara, you'll have some DIFC buildings, and the prices, and of course Opus, which by the way is going to be the biggest point of comparison for us because it's another building by Omniyat nearby. And it's completed. It's almost impossible to get an office there. It's very much in demand. It's a landmark building, and I think this will be even more so. So if we look at this open air amphitheater that they have on the top floor here, I think it's pretty incredible things can happen here. Immediately, it brings back to mind Apple's presentations. When I used to work at Apple, we used to go to a lot of trouble to organize really amazing customer experience for discovery of new products. And I can imagine company CEOs inviting well-known artists like Ludovico Einaudi or hosting press conferences here just to give a particular sense of customer experience. You can start to see there's a lot of greenery, there is a beautiful swimming pool, and so this is already different than most office buildings. Combined with the fact that this is a fantastic investment, I think makes it very appealing. So here we have Sheikh Zayed Road, we have Burj Khalifa, and we have Enara that I mentioned before was here in Marassi Bay. Lumena is here, right next to Sheikh Zayed Road, making it very easily accessible so you don't have to stand in traffic in Business Bay, which is, I think, sometimes worse than DIFC. So you will be able to go from the metro into the building, which is great. And depending on which way you're facing, you're going to have really interesting views of the Dubai skyline. So from this side, you have, I think that's Bulgari Island, you have ocean views, you have Burj Khalifa on this side, and here's where we start to get into the insides of the office. As can be expected, it's a high-end building. You have parking spaces, the building is LEED Platinum certified, you have obviously amazing views. I'll get into the specifics of the amenities here shortly, but you see there's retail on the bottom. They're making this an integrated building where you have wellness amenities, where you have cafes and restaurant downstairs, and you have everything easily accessible in one space. The options here are either getting individual offices, which are around 4,500, 5,000 square feet, plus some are a little bit smaller, or half floor or floor options, which can be a really smart way to invest because I'll tell you the specifics of that soon. And yeah, as I mentioned, on average, you have between 4,000 and 5,000 for the offices, about 8,000 for half floors, and about 12 to 15,000 for the full floors. Here's a breakdown. I'm not going to go too much into it, but in general, you can start to see the layout. The offices in UAE come as shell and core, meaning when you buy something, you can then custom fit it specifically for your company with your branding. And when you think ahead from a landlord standpoint, because it takes time to model out and refit a particular office, leases can be longer than, it can be 3-5 year leases where you have guaranteed income. And by the way, the ROI on commercial real estate in Dubai is higher than residential units by sometimes 5 to 10%. And so here, half floor, I'm not going to go into the full floor plans. We can discuss that separately. But you can already start to have a sense for what Omniyat intends to build here. It's a very elegant building. For me, their energy is always reminiscent of Oxford or Cambridge. It's very refined and elegant, and at the same time, functional. If we compare this, for instance, to Opus, where rental rates for offices are about 700 dirham per square foot, and we have average pricing of about 8,000 dirham per square foot for resale, these prices are 30% less than Opus. And that presents an interesting opportunity because anyone coming into here, it comes with a payment plan that's 50-50, deliveries in 2029, will have an opportunity to, I think, more than double their money and resell either before handover or hold on to it for later. I'll summarize this a little bit later. I want to give you a few views of the amenities overlooking the city. You have retail, cafes, restaurants, of course, downstairs. You have a beautiful entrance You have that Sky Theater, which I think is really incredible and can host interesting events for your company, and I think it provides networking opportunities as well to get to know others. And you have an executive business club, wellness suite. You'll have a concierge on site for handling everything from bookings to deliveries to everything else, an amazing swimming pool. So you can see that Omniyat went above and beyond to really give you the space for, let's say, balancing work and life. Where it's not just you come to work, you sit at your desk and you go home. It's more of an integrated lifestyle, which I personally am a big fan of, because I think just working all the time leads to burnout. This is just another summary of some of the amenities. You'll have a lot of concierge services, as can be expected for a building in this level. Here's Opus that I was referencing, also by Omniyat. They have Binary and Enara as office spaces, and of course now Lumena, which I personally think is a very beautiful building. Let's talk about the specifics of the investment. I mentioned that it's a 50-50 payment plan. So you have a 5% down payment, and as with residential units, this can be spread out over the next 3-4 years. Now, the advantage this offers, of course, this is 0%. Keep in mind, this is commercial real estate, so everything carries a 5% VAT. And if we take a look at the options, so one option, of course, is resell. One of my favorites. We buy, for instance, a half floor, a floor, or an office, and we resell in mid-2028, about 3 years from now. 3.5 years is the holding period here, I think, minimum. Of course, pricing will be closer to 8,000 to 10,000 plus per square foot, and right now it's closer to 5,000. So because of the payment plan, this I think you can more than double your money in this project. So that's option one. Option two is rentals. Here, the starting price for office is about 21 to 25 million dirham, roughly $5 to $6 million. And you have then half floors are about 45, 50 million, and full floors are accordingly higher. So what we can do is, of course, rent it out. And the rental rates, even if we look at 700 dirham per square foot, which is an Opus right now, you will already be at 12 to 15%. And understanding that this is, I would say, a higher end building, and rental rates will continue to increase as businesses move to the UAE, you're going to have an opportunity to get, I think, 15% plus ROI on this. And then we have a third option that I think is interesting. It's possible to buy out a half floor or a floor, get a business center license, split it up into individual units, like 10 to 50 square meters for smaller companies, and rent those out individually. There's a huge demand for office spaces like that. They're very difficult to find in Dubai. And as the city develops, this presents an opportunity where you can boost your ROI by 5 to 10% annually, leading to, I would say, between 20 and 25% plus annual ROI on leasing commercial office space to other businesses. And you can operate this as a business, this business center, let's say, license. And by the way, for instance, if you're a wealthy family and you have heirs, you can give this to one of your children as a business to manage, because you can register the floor to yourself as the owner, and then your child will manage and learn how to operate the business. It's pretty, I think it's a pretty interesting way of going about it. So let's take a step back and summarize. We have Lumena from Omniyat launching. Some of the higher floors already are sold out. Even at these prices, people understand the investment opportunity, and this is something as an investor to the UAE you get to also understand. The decisions have to be quick, usually same day, sometimes same hour. Why? Because simply there's thousands of people around the world who also have the same idea, and it is a seller's market. What's an additional advantage of the luxury segment is it's more protected against any economic downturns. Whenever there's conflict around the world, the money tends to flow to Dubai. When you have an economic downturn, the ones that are hit the hardest are the ones that are oversupplied. So usually things like JVC and Arjan and other lower end areas versus areas that are prime, beachfront, or in this case, right next to a metro station strategic for business. You have much fewer of those types of options. So they're a lot more protected from economic downturns. So this project is for investors either retail or institutional. This project is for people who want to resell or rent it out, or if you have a company that you want to have a landmark address in a one-of-a-kind building here, I think it's a fantastic option for you as well. Now, it's important to also, let's say, as always, floor plan is king, and picking the right unit with the right view is important when it comes to resale. Some views are going to be better than others, some floors are better than others, and that's something that we can discuss. If you enjoy this video, think of this as a potential investment, you can reach out through the link above, say it's for Alex, and we can get on a Zoom and discuss how this fits into your strategy. This is how we'll work with my clients. We'll see what the strategy can be when the exit is, whom we're going to exit to, and I'll be responsible for helping you manage your investments here in the UAE for the years to come. And as always, you can leave your comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I think it's a great investment in the 20 to 100 million dirham range. I personally would invest here, maybe over residential units in this price range. So I think we're going to see more of an expansion of the commercial segment here in Dubai in the years to come. I think in Abu Dhabi as well, so watch this space. And those of you who are ready to make a decision now and double or more your money, this is, I think, a fantastic opportunity. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you following my videos. My name is Alex, and I'll see you next time.